Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video, I am filming my first update on my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan. I'm filming this one fairly early and fairly close to my intro because I already have two pans, so I want to roll them out and get started on something new. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. One of the pans actually, I don't think I had really touched all that much, so I made a lot of progress in a fairly short amount of time. Let's jump on into the progress. There's a few palettes that I have not done very well on, but there's a few palettes that I haven't done very well on in, the first month, but I do feel like I got a little bit of a dud color story when it came to variety. I had it was almost 3 shimmery browny lid type colors and I think it was only 2 mattes. So out of my 5 color stories, out of my 5 eyeshadows, 3 of them were fairly close to each other. So I feel like I've done pretty good considering the color story that I had. For those of you that are new, this is the color story that I was working on in January. Now, let's start with the products or the palettes that I used the least. That first one is the Bare Minerals Wish palette, and out of this palette I got the color Bubbles, which is this one here, and I only used this 3 times. It does have a little bit of a dip in the palette and it does have, signs of wear, but not a whole lot. And because this is one of those shimmery shades that looked similar to 2 of the other colors, I didn't get much use out of it, but I am hoping to grab for this one in the next month as like a daily lid color for work. But I'm working on a lot of different lid colors for work, but I'll get there eventually. I will get there eventually. Next is my Chica y Chico One Shot Eye palette, and from this palette I got the color Red Eye, which is this one here, and I used this a total of 5 times, and once again it's got a bit of wear on the pan. It's got a slight little dip in there, but not a lot of progress on it. I do find this one is a little bit underwhelming as an all over eyelid color. It's a little bit lackluster compared to other colors that I like to wear on a daily basis on my eyelids. So I have been pairing this one and topping it with this one to get a little bit more sparkle to the look. But yeah, it's not my favorite color, and I have dipped in a few times to this color here as well as like a crease color because I didn't have that many matte colors from my first pick. Next one was my Super Beauty Artisan palette, and from this palette I got the color Perspective, which is this color here. Now this is the only kind of deep matte color that I got in this project. It does have a little bit of a wear in it. I used this one a total of 7 times. I do feel like once I get to maybe around that 15 uses, I might start seeing a decent dip in this eyeshadow, but until then I don't think I'm going to see much of a dip. Like I said, you can see wear on the pan and you can see it's been used, but I think in terms of getting a good dip out of it, it might take a double the amount of uses at least. So that one is going to continue on. And my last 2 palettes are these 2 right here, and I have a pan in both of these. I did reach goal on both of the shades that I rolled in from these palettes. So we'll start with the Vegas Lights palette. This is by Makeup Geek. This is a really old palette in my collection, so I was really happy to get this palette in the pick, and I was really happy to get some wear out of it. It's the first pan in this palette and I'm really proud of myself because, like I said, I think I've barely touched this one since I got it and brought it into my collection. But I got the color Mirage, and as you can see right there, it's a fairly decent amount of pan, I think, as well. So I've used this a total of 20 21 times, and I hit pan after the 16th use. So I did continue using this one because I didn't have any other color like this. I did use this to set my eyeshadow primer from like my brow bone to my crease on a daily basis. That's how I managed to get through it very quickly, because I was using it basically every day to set a fairly substantial area, a fairly substantially sized area in terms of eyeshadow. Like when it comes to something that you're going to use a lot of, colors like this, it's it. That didn't really make any sense, did it? But anyway, I've hit pan on Makeup Geek Vegas Lights. And then the last one is the Aurora Lights. From this palette, I got the color Interstellar, and that is this one right here. And you can see the pan just there. And to hit pan on this one, I used it for another 7 times to hit pan. I've used it a total of 8 times between now and intro. I did already have a fairly decent dip on that color, so it didn't take me that much longer to hit pan on that. Plus these little pans are quite small, and they're not like super deep either, so they are pretty easy to hit pan on. So that takes a total of 2, 4, 5 colors I have pan on in this palette. So that's super exciting. 2 rollouts already. I'm gonna have to add these to my yearly products I've got pan on list, but I'm very proud of myself that I managed to hit pan already on 2 products. So we have to roll in 2 more shades, and I've decided that based on my monthly color story, I might pick something out myself, out of my collection. So I will draw 2 shades from my random spreadsheet. So I have a spreadsheet that contains all of my eyeshadows in it, bar a few. I feel like I need to look a few more places. This sounds really weird, but I do have a few palettes in my makeup kit that I think I might add to this spreadsheet, like palettes that jump in and out of my collection, that I think I might add to this spreadsheet. So this might grow. At the moment, this spreadsheet has 116 possible outcomes on it. That includes my single shadows, that includes my single eyeshadow palettes, single compact eyeshadows, you name it. If it's gonna go on my eyes, it's in this spreadsheet. So I'm going to randomly generate another 2. So I think each month I'll have 5 randomly generated eyeshadows, and then depending on the color story, if I'm not loving the color story, I might find something in my collection that can help complement it, whether it's another single, what have you. I do want to get some pan in more of my Makeup Geek singles, so it might be something from those palettes. I'm not quite sure yet, haven't quite decided. And then in terms of usage, I cheated a lot last month. Like I redrew about 6 different options, and I know it was shameful to watch me like redraw, but there was method in my madness, but at the same time I really need to get myself out of the headspace of like treasuring eyeshadow. Like I want to see usage in my eyeshadows. So if I do draw something that's fairly new, I'm gonna go with the motions. Like I'm gonna see how I feel. The whole aim of this project though for me was to get more use out of my really old eyeshadows. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not scared of getting use out of my newer eyeshadow palettes. I just want to get more use out of my really old ones that haven't been touched for a while. So that's the main reason why in my intro I was jumping around a lot and I was redrawing a lot, because the whole reason why I started doing this project was to get more use out of my really old palettes, but I do want to see usage and pan on my newer palettes. So depending on the palette will depend on how I feel. There are some newer palettes that I brought into my collection that I don't think I'd have any qualms about trying to pan, but there are some palettes that I just recently brought into my collection that I'm just not ready to pan. So it'll depend on what I draw out. I would like to not cheat, but we'll see how I feel. All that to say, if you're watching this project, it's going to be a hot mess probably all year because this is the first year I'm doing this project. I'm a hot mess. I'm a mess when it comes to project panning. So if you want to watch the chaos unfold, then stick around. I would love to see you sticking around. Anyway, so pretty random app, pretty random app, and we are going to generate number 9 and number 49. So number 9 is, ooh, okay. Number 9 is my Bobbi Brown Bone eyeshadow, and number 49 is, ooh, ABH Subculture palette. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna go get those 2 items and I'll be back in a jiffy, and depending on what I draw from the Subculture palette, I might throw in a single or 2 from my Makeup Geek palette. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, getting old products. I don't even know how long I've had this in my collection. I've barely used it, so I'm happy to have it in the project. I don't know whether I'm going to enjoy using it, but hopefully I can figure out some way to use it and get some use out of it. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to pan. I would love it not to take too long to pan, but that's that. And then my ABH Subculture palette, I don't have any pans on this palette, but I do traditionally find ABH palettes fairly easy to pan, probably barring this one because this is like a pressed pigment palette, so it'll be more pigmented than most. There are 2, 4, 6, 7, there's 14 shades in this palette, so I'm going to randomly pick from that. Okay, so shake. We are going with, ooh, number 1, which is the color Cube. Actually, I really like the color Cube. So that is this one here, and I think that would be fairly easy to hit pan on. And I do find that mine hits hard pan pretty easily. I don't know about the rest of you if you have this palette, if you find that Cube, I think electric as well, I find gets hard pan pretty easily as well. So I probably will get through it really easily, especially if I have to like scrape off any shadow to relieve the hard pan. It's decided. I am going to roll in a single or 2. So this is my Makeup Geek eyeshadow palette. These, actually this is one of 2. This is mainly, I think this is all my neutrals up the top here, and then shimmers, and then I think the other palette is all shimmers. So from this palette, I want to try and pan, I think this one here, this is Creme Brulee, just because it's already got a bit of a dip going in it, so I think I could easily get pan on that one. And I might roll in Peach Smoothie as well, because I have 2 of these, so I'd like to hit pan on both actually. I'm gonna roll this one in as well. I am being super ambitious. Okay, so that means I have a total of 8 shadows in this project now. Just because, as I said, I'm gonna play around with this project. This is the first time I've ever done pan those eyeshadows, so I will be playing around with it as I go through. Okay, so February we are rolling over the Chico One Shot eye palette, the color Red Eye, Bare Minerals Wish palette, the color Bubbles, Artisan palette, the color Perspective. Okay, then we have Bobbi Brown Bone. This is like an OG YouTube. Actually, this might be good for an inner corner highlight too, because it is like a silver glittery sparkle color. ABH Subculture, the color Cube. Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek. Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek. And lastly, Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek. I know it's a lot. I do feel like I was really restricted to only having the one like magenta matte. So having these extra neutrals, I feel like is going to really help me on a daily basis. It's not going to let me get bored as much as I was last month. And I've got a little bit of variety in like I have a bit of a variety in lid shimmers that I can use as well for like daily work makeup, and then I can play and have fun on the weekends with other stuff in my collection. The goal on all of these is still to hit pan, especially like the Makeup Geek singles. Definitely want to hit pan on them. The other ones I definitely want to hit pan. I still think it's too close. It's too early in the game for my liking to call it quits or to call a number. I am aiming for at least maybe 20 uses on each of them, and then after that I'll gauge and see, but I'm almost certain that by the time I get to 20 uses I'm going to be very close to hitting pan on a lot of these colors anyway. 20 uses, and then I'll probably still continue to try and hit pan anyway, because I do really want to get more pans in my collection. That's the ultimate goal of this project this year, is pans galore. It's going to be pandemonium at the end of the year. I'm aiming to like hit 50 pans in 2021 again, but I want most of them to be eyeshadows again. That would be fantastic. That's it for this update, my first update on my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan for 2021. Let me know down in the comments box how you are going on your panning journey for 2021, whether you're just trying to get some more use out of eyeshadows or whether you're trying to hit pan on products. Let me know the details down in the comments box. While you're down there, make sure you click all the other buttons that you need to, like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can join my membership and upload this video while you're down there. That's it for this video, beauties. I hope that you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy and looking after yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.